in the arm. Every vaccine candidate that passes a significant hoop is a win for the world at large. So it says that even if one person gets vaccine and he gets rid of the coronavirus, then it means that ultimately the total world is almost safe because the vaccine does not transport from him to other person. Close on the heels of the multinational Pfizer announcing promising results from its ongoing phase 3 trials of a potential COVID-19 vaccine, Moderna, the US-based biotechnology firm, has indicated similar news from human trials, again phase 3, of its RNA vaccine. So it says that a multinational company known as Pfizer has been conducting its phase 3 of the coronavirus vaccine. And all of those tests have become very successful. So it means that um, that vaccine has a potential of becoming a vaccine which could cure coronavirus. And there is another company which had done a research and came up with same results. And that company is an US based technology firm, um, and its name is Moderna. So there are two companies, Pfizer and Moderna. So these two companies made vaccines to cure coronavirus, and both of them had showed similar and successful results. An analysis of 95 of nearly 30,000 volunteers, they are exclusively from the United States, who tested positive, revealed that 90 only got a placebo and 5 the double vaccine shots. So a research study was conducted in 30,000 people, but out of them only 95 people were given the vaccines. In those 95 people, again 90 of them were just given placebos. Placebo means a vaccine. It is actually a false vaccine, but it is given to a person to make them feel better, because they may know that I have got a vaccine and I should and I will feel better. So it's all in the belief. So when they believe that they have gotten a true vaccine, and then they think that I have been cured. So because of that, their condition becomes a bit better. So 90 people have been given placebos, and only 5 people have been given a true vaccine. This led to the vaccine being declared as 94.5% effective, and well past the US FDA's requirement that a potential vaccine must be at least 50% effective. So the United States FDA's requirement for the vaccine to success is more than 50%, but the success rate of these vaccines are more than 94.5%. So it's way more than the required amount. So it's very good. Encouragingly, the company also said that 11 volunteers manifested moderate to severe disease, and all of them were those who did not get the real vaccine. So the research says that 11 of the 90 people who got the false vaccines or placebos, they feel a bit better. They really feel a bit better because they thought that they got some real vaccines and they have been cured. This is a sign that the vaccine is successful in its primary job of protection, though its efficiency at curbing disease transmission is still to be evaluated. So this is very good news, and now we have a vaccine which could prevent coronavirus from getting into our body. But there should be some medicine to stop the transmission of virus, or at least kill the virus when it enters the body. So these vaccines produced by the Moderna company and the Pfizer company, they cannot do those things. They can just only prevent the coronavirus from entering our body. Even if it enters, the vaccine will stop it right away. So now they should be tested for such conditions to stop the transmission of virus from one person to other person, where one person already has the virus. The results were announced as a company news release and not in a scientific journal, implying that a review by independent experts is pending. So we all are thinking that this is good news, and yes, this is good news, but these news were not actually revealed by this these news were not actually revealed by the scientists or the experts of those companies. This was released out just like a company journal and not like a scientific report. So we must be waiting for this scientific report. The Moderna's results, like Pfizer's, are a boost for a new approach to vaccine design. The mRNA class of vaccines are a synthetic construction of a piece of a genetic machinery that viruses need to replicate. There are twin advantages. So the results of both the companies in the US, the Moderna and even the Pfizer, they are very encouraging and they are good news. And their new approach to creating a vaccine boosted all the remaining industries in producing a vaccine. And now the chances of producing more vaccines is more than ever. And both of them have two advantages. No physical part of a virus is introduced, reducing the odds of adverse reactions, and the number of doses can be quickly scaled up as they do not need mammalian cells. So, as I said, there were two advantages for these vaccines. First one is that normally when a vaccine is given, what it actually does is that vaccine contains a weaker or a dead virus, and if that virus goes in, then the white blood cells release the antibodies and then they fight it and then they defeat it. But in this case, there is no such risk. Even any virus won't be entered into our body, so that it could prevent any unfortunate and worst reactions which could happen because of that. And the second reason is that the vaccine does not inject any mammalian cells to our body. The cons are that such vaccines have never been commercially produced and require sub-zero refrigerator facilities, which is a rarity in most of the world. So that now we come to the disadvantages. We have seen the advantages and they were pretty encouraging, but the disadvantage is that these types of vaccines have never been produced on such a large scale. So obviously these will be produced on a large scale, right? They will be produced for many countries and many states. So they will be produced in the scales of billions and millions. For that, they need some special type of refrigerators, and those refrigerators are very rarely available in the world. So it's really a big problem to generate more amount of such type of vaccines. In the case of Moderna, there is more optimism as the company claimed that the vaccine was able to survive for 30 days in a refrigerator and could last 12 hours at room temperature. So what I said now were the results of the disadvantages which I just said, were the disadvantages of Pfizer. When we come to the case of Moderna, that there is no disadvantage, and the thing is that the vaccines which are produced by the company Moderna, they can survive up to 30 days in a refrigerator. Actually, the required amount is 7, but now they knew that their vaccine could survive up to 30 days in a refrigerator. So that's an extremely good news. And 12 hours in the room temperature. So yes, without any fridge, it could only last up to 12 hours. Its vaccine is primarily for the US. However, this vaccine, unlike Pfizer's, was developed with support from the Coalition of Epidemic Preparedness Innovations and other global alliances. So yes, however, these both vaccines are just prepared for the country, the country of US. It won't be given country of US, and it was not actually prepared for the world. So it may be the case that they maybe won't be given to various countries, but these vaccines are prepared with some companies like Moderna and Pfizer, which were in coalition with other countries, which were in coalition with the scientific research organizations of other countries. So they will give a very few amount of the vaccines to other countries. Under this arrangement, member countries, and this includes India, are in line to get a minimum number of doses. However, few to cover a fraction of the population on priority basis. Moderna says that it can ready 20 million doses by the year end. So, as I said, These both companies worked with in collaboration with other countries' research organizations, in which India is also a country. So it's a good news for us. But the thing is that it does not have many vaccines, so that all the people could in India could get it. At least most of the people in India won't get it. Um, um, the company Moderna says that by the end of this year it would have 20 million vaccines, and that's not even half of our population. So what we should do is that we should distribute these vaccines by the end of the year by the priority basis. So we need to give these vaccines to the people first who are very vulnerable, like the kids and the people in the old age. By the late next year, this can be ramped up to the billions, but by then it is expected that several more vaccines that are in this large trials, including those in India, will be available. India does not stand to directly and immediately gain significantly from Moderna. So the company Moderna said that it would have 20 million by the end of this year, but it also said that by the end of the next year we would have these types of vaccines in billions. That's very good, but the problem is that by the end of next year, many companies, including some of them in India, could have more than billions. So the thing is that we need so many vaccines now, not after 1 year. And yes, of course, India won't receive these vaccines immediately from Moderna. There will be some brokers in it. However, every vaccine candidate that passes a significant hoop is a win for the world, as it opens the way to new practices and ways of applying science that would have been otherwise implausible in the pre-pandemic world. So we shouldn't feel bad for that, as India does not get all the vaccines, and it has brokers in its way. Instead, we should feel happy that if anyone gets this vaccine and they get cured by it, it's a good news, because the virus does not only spread from him to other, but it will also encourage the company who made it, and it will encourage them to make even more. And also, when this vaccine was invented or discovered, which is right now, many other companies are also got confidence that if they can make, even we can make. Thank you.